Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Eddie Jones. How did he change your life? And reflect on the importance of coaching in rugby.
Okay, so Eddie Jones was by far and away the best coach I ever worked with. Was absolutely incredible. Was light years ahead of anyone I'd ever worked under. You know, I was lucky when Eddie Jones came in. I probably had 50 odd caps, and some of the environments that had gone before were some of the worst environments I'd ever worked with in terms of training, the reasons behind training, why we trained, how hard we trained, how purposeful training was, how coaches talked to you, the negativity of the atmospheres around that, how players were treated, how I was treated. Eddie Jones came in and completely turned that on his head. Now, for every good coach, you have people that absolutely love him, you have lots of people who don't love him. That's the same wherever you go. You know, people always feel like they deserve to be selected, they deserve to go on and win. The fact of the matter is in life, some people aren't good enough to make it all the way. It's a very hard pill to swallow, to realise that perhaps you aren't quite as good as you thought you are, you've maybe reached your glass ceiling, you're not going to get through it, that's the end of it. And I think for me, he came in, he stood in front of us on the very first day at Pennyhill Park, walked in and was like, right guys, I'm not being funny, but you lot are awful. You're number 5 in the world, this is an Australian accent by the way. He goes, you're number 5 in the world, you're telling me that all the resources, all the money, all the time, all the club sport, that you're that bad? No, the honest answer is you're not. I'm going to take you to number 1 team in the world. I'm going to take you to a World Cup final. I'm going to make you the best possible players you can be. I'm going to make you self-reliant men, and I'm going to make you successful. But all I ask is for you to sacrifice, and some of you are going to have to sacrifice more than you've ever done before. And I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to make it hard. It's going to be honest, and I hope you come on this journey. Then he looked at me at the back, and I was sitting at the back with the rest of the naughty boys, and I didn't know he knew who I was. And he goes, "Hess, mate." I was like, "Oh God, yes." He goes, "Hess, mate, what's your grip strength like?" So I looked at my hands, I said, I'm okay, Eddie, I think it's good. He goes, "Good, mate, because you're old and you're hanging on." He actually said it a lot more sort of blue language, but I won't use it at school. And he, from that day on, he always had that energy where he'd come to me and go, "Listen, mate, I don't think you're playing well, you're looking tired, what can I do to help you? I think you need to do this, I think you need to go and work with Steve." And he created an inspirational environment, a positive atmosphere to train and perform. Everything was purposeful, everything was well thought out. You absolutely understood what he was trying to do. But as a coach, he knew, and as modern day teachers and people in business, gone are the days of treating everybody the same. That old mentality is completely gone. Kids now, much more emotional, much more in tune, and you need to be able to go, look, here's the central message, here's what we're trying to do. But I know if I say to that kid, you're rubbish, it'll probably break him. So what I need to say to him is, look, here's how I can help you. This is what you need to go and do. One other kid you know is lazy, but will if you tell him it's rubbish, we'll go, right, I'll show you, and use negativity. I think in a world now, we live in a place where everything has to be super positive. How many of you in this room have done stuff through negativity? Whether it could be a parent saying you couldn't do it, a friend saying you couldn't do it, it could be through jealousy, it could be through competition. Negativity is a very powerful tool for success. And Eddie got the balance right between doing that. Again, he got it wrong. You've got to remember that he was a half Japanese, half Australian, born in Australia, played in Randwick. He was a hooker. He was small in size. They're not the most progressive Australians. He's vocally said that he would have got some racist stuff happen to him. He was playing a position that required violence. He's probably a bit of a bully in certain aspects of what he does. But in terms of England coaching, he created such a good atmosphere that during the first week of his tenure, myself, Dan Cole, Joe Marler, Dylan Hartley, Owen Farrell, Ben Youngs, George Ford were all sitting in a room, and we all turned to each other going, "Oh my God, is this what international rugby is supposed to be like? Is this what it could have been like?" And I honestly would have swapped those 50 caps I had before to spend more time with him. I would have said, "Listen, I would rather have not played and done more time with him because he was that good." And he treated me like an adult. He actually respected the fact that I had things outside rugby, that I enjoyed broadening my horizons, that I didn't put all my eggs into the basket of rugby, that I was interested in things outside. He liked my bombastic character. He liked the fact that, that I was the first one out of the training field, the last one off the training field, but I was the first one to stand up and take the piss out of everyone and create that atmosphere. And I think sometimes teachers and people are intimidated by those they don't understand. Eddie and I couldn't be more different, but he respected difference, and that I think is a very powerful tool.
And when you came to retire professionally, I think he was instrumental in giving you advice.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Eddie again, he came and actually retired me a year before my last game for England. He came to my house, drove up, said, "Mate, can I see you?" Sat in my living room, said, "Listen, I don't think you've got what it takes anymore. I don't think you're going to play. I think you've lost it. I think you're a great servant. He welled up in tears. He goes, mate, I hope you're okay, but just let you know we're going to let you go. Right? So I saw that as, well, I'm not ready to retire. What are you talking about? And for me, it was a test. He was testing me. He did the same thing with Billy Vunipola, Maka Vunipola. He retired them to see what they would do. And he retired me to see whether I could get to the World Cup and whether I could push. And I proved him wrong. I went and played a couple more games for England. I performed well. But then injury caught up with me and I wasn't able to go to the World Cup. And he then, as I retired, I went and saw him at a Hilton hotel at the side of a motorway next to Northampton. And I sat down and I said to him, mate, I can't do this anymore, I can't run, I'm not going to recover. I just want you to know, I really appreciate what you've done. He said, yeah, look, how can I help you? Are you going to go into coaching? And I said, absolutely not. He said, good mate, because there's no money in it. And then I said, well, hold on a minute, aren't you on 750 grand? He goes, yeah, I am. But for normal people, there isn't. And I wasn't going to do that. I wanted to go and do the things I was doing. He always supported and helped me. I think he was the best. Now, did he get it wrong with certain players? Yeah, of course he did. But I think you've got to break a few eggs to make an omelette. And I think we've learned very much in life now that if you go at pace the slowest person, if you make it about taking par, if you talk about feelings all the time and worry about what people like and don't like, we're in the kerfuffle that we're in at the moment.
Yeah. I
think sometimes you've got to draw some lines, deal with some common sense, push some boundaries and be very honest.
And you clearly respected and responded to his honesty. James, let's just change tack slightly.